You made it. Checked out of office to check into the sweet views of this place where the kids aren't asking for the Wi-Fi.
Mom, can we go to the pool?
And when you're with Amex, it's not if it's going to happen, but when. American Express. Don't live life without it.
Hey, it's Storyworthy. Today on the show, comedian Jennifer Vally talks about joining a religion to hook up with a surfer guy.
And we notice off to our left is this group, and I'm not kidding, there must have been 10 to 12 cute surfer boys in a circle with their surfboards standing up behind them and a guy in the middle, and they were doing something. And I was like, oh, what's going on over there? And they were actually praying, thanking God for the weather and the waves and make sure we have a good surf and, dear Jesus, make sure everybody catches a wave. I don't know. We all cowabunga, we all hang 10. I went, oh, what's going on here?
Today on the show, comedian Jennifer Vally talks about joining a religion to hook up with a surfer guy. Stay close.
Hey, it's Jennifer Vally, and you're listening to Storyworthy.
Welcome to Storyworthy. My name is Christine Blackburn, and I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Whether you're a longtime fan of the show or a new listener, welcome to Storyworthy. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the show last week, which was Story Smash, the storytelling game show, live from the Hollywood Improv on January 22nd. And I usually don't put up Story Smash on a Tuesday, because Tuesday's more, the straight guest is what it is. But I thought to myself, I think the listeners might just want to tune into it. And sometimes when it's on as a bonus, maybe they don't listen. Maybe they blow it off. I don't know. But the point is we've had a lot of people listen to last week's episode. So thank you very much. And that was with Danny Zucker, Blanca Patch, Melissa Peterman, Jennifer Vally. You know these people. I mean, it's just, they're gangbusters, it's just so funny. Jennifer?
Oh, hey. Hi. Yeah, I do love doing that show. It's a blast. And
thanks.
Blanca Patch, I got to tell you, never not funny. Is that an expression?
Well, that's actually Jimmy Pardo's podcast. It's called Never Not Funny.
Oh, that's right. Oh, so that's probably trademarked.
Yeah.
But
really.
When Blanca Patch does the fake commercials.
Right. And he's just so spot on funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time. And I think a lot of people were probably listening to it because they couldn't get into the improv. It's true. It sells out constantly.
Yeah, it does, which is nice. And also you've done so many, you've done a lot of versions of Story Smash with me, Jennifer. I mean,
yes.
you did Shotgun Storyworthy.
When you were allowed to use firearm sound effects, yes. It used to be called Shotgun Storyworthy, but that became not cool, so, it's now something else.
Well, yeah, so we went to the glass smash, but I always thought, the whole idea of Shotgun Storyworthy was, there's a shotgun going off, you're under pressure,
right.
Shotgun wedding, all that.
Right. It's like you're being forced to stay on time.
Right. But now like you said, with the climate that we're living in and so many guns, it's just like, why even bring it into the fray? Why?
Yeah, you don't need a shotgun sound effect.
And you should know, Jennifer Vally, because you have worked for the Game Show Network for years.
For years, yes.
First of all, you guys, today, comedian Jennifer Vally's on the show, and she brings forth the topic, joining a religion for a surfer boy. So I know it's going to be a good story, but it's been a while since you've been on the show. And I just want to ask you a few questions. Like I just said, you have worked for the Game Show Network for years, but just tell the audience, what does that even mean? Well,
actually, almost 20 years ago, I worked on my very first game show. It was called I've Got a Secret on the Oxygen Network, but that was I was writing the comedy for that. And that was more a guest base. But on the Game Show Network, I've worked on, let's say 6, 7, 8 shows, sometimes some shows 2 seasons. And basically, you're either writing host copy or you're writing content. And when you're writing content, depending on the game, it's a lot of trivia. So I know a little bit about everything. So depending on the show, for example, let's say I wrote on a show called America Says. So what the Game Show Network, when they first started, they would run a lot of reruns of old game shows, which they probably had to pay to license. They got smart and figured out, we can create our own content and own it. So they kind of have knockoff versions of a lot of shows. So
Wait a second. When did this change? Because I remember pitching Story Smash to the Game Show Network, and they said, no, we don't produce any shows. We only bring back the old shows, or they show the old shows.
Yeah, they don't have, if it's something original, and they have had original shows, it's a straight up game show.
Mm-hmm.
Trivia based something.
Well, why isn't Story Smash then on? I mean, let's just go right to the question.
I don't know. I have nothing to do with that's above my pay grade, Christine.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I know they like shows where there's I don't know. I can't. They like trivia based shows, and they like shows that are kind of like that they created. I think that's what they're doing now. Is they're internally creating shows that are kind of semi knockoffs of popular shows that they used to rerun or still rerun occasionally. So America Says is like Family Feud, where it's a survey based show. So when you're writing on a survey based show, you're not necessarily writing exact trivia or facts. You're what do people think is the answer? It's more like that. So there's different kind of shows, different kind of things going on.
When you're a writer in a room like that and you're making up these trivia questions or you're trying to, get something on air, do you care about the questions or do you just I just want to get it done?
Well, there's usually some kind of quota, and there's in all game shows like Jeopardy and stuff, when they show you the categories. So every show has to have kind of an equal amount of categories, like geography or pop culture or history or something like that. So you'll have a certain amount to come up with in each kind of category. They'll say can you write 3 history and 4 pop culture and throw in a couple of sports and, stuff like that. Hollywood,
It sounds like fun to be a writer on a game show. But then when you describe it like that, it seems like, what a pain in the ass, man. You got to find all this stuff. So
I think a worse job than being a writer is, I shouldn't say worse. God bless these people, but I said God bless. Well, that'll be funny later. Are the researchers.
Oh, I see.
So you have to, if it's trivia based, it's knowledge based. Everything has to go through a research department, and a lot of people don't know this, but there's certain things that you cannot use as reference in a game show. They're no-nos. Number 1 is Wikipedia, and number 2 is YouTube, because Wikipedia is self-edited. Anybody can write anything on Wikipedia. It could be edited at any time. So you can't say, who won the Civil War? I don't know.
Yeah.
And go to Wikipedia because anybody could write whatever. Some people think the South won, or whatever.
I know what you're saying.
But if it's a real knowledge-based question, you can sometimes go to the bottom of Wikipedia, because they will use footnotes.
They'll show the sources.
Yeah, and you could go to those sources and get your proof there. But YouTube is bullshit. You know?
And that's because people are...
They could put up whatever they want.
Right.
Anything.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's... I don't know. I mean, it's not that easy.
You can't use it as a source. Like if I have to source a topic, if I said who won the Civil War, and I pick a clip from YouTube,
right.
That's
not a source.
That's not a source.
Okay. Is CNN a source?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is Fox News a source?
Yes.
I see. Is Dancing with the Stars a source?
Source, no, but they could be a subject. Yeah.
Is Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah, Tom Bergeron says.
No, but it's a game show / dancing show.
Right. Yeah, but
just
that's
saying.
that's a talent show. That's a whole other thing.
That's right. You're doing more like the regular shows.
Regular game shows with
Now,
prizes and money.
Is Alec Baldwin still doing Match Game?
I don't think they're doing that show anymore. But I had a lot of friends that wrote on that show, and it was it's fun and funny, and they try to be ribald like they did back in the 60s and 70s. So there's writers that have to write quips and jokes, so that's more of a comedy writing gig.
I watched so many game shows after school when I was a kid.
Yeah, I did too. I used to watch some too.
Yeah.
Where they used to smoke. I thought Match Game, on Match Game, I thought that was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
They would be drinking and smoking and it was like a
wearing
party.
Sunglasses inside.
Yeah, because their eyes are bloodshot.
And Gene Rayburn had that huge long stick
Oh my
mic.
God, it looked like a monkey penis, yeah.
Ew, that's what a monkey penis looks like?
Don't you know? All the girls know that.
Jennifer Vally, I am so excited that you're here. And your topic today, joining a religion for a surfer boy. It makes me laugh because, it is such the opposite of... Because I know this happened to you as a kid or as a teenager, and it makes me laugh that you went to a religion because obviously most kids are dragged, to and through religion till they're 18, and then they blow off the whole thing. But you actually joined it for a purpose. So I'm very anxious to hear this.
Oh, okay.
Now, you have 2 kids. Did you bring those girls up in any kind of religion?
No, but I didn't keep them away from it. I had an Orthodox Jewish nanny. I had very good friends that were Buddhist, so they've prayed at the Gohanza. They Nam Yehod Renge Kyod. They've been to churches. Lauren went to a fire and brimstone one, and it scared her so much she will never go back. The kind where you're going to go to hell. You're going to go to hell. Who took her there? Those kind of things.
Who took Lauren there?
One of my friends.
What the heck? Who's your friend? Who's that?
Well, she's not my friend anymore. But anyway, there's all different kinds of things. They've explored it. I've not. Yeah. I even let Jehovah's Witness in the house. They were so shocked.
Yeah.
You're actually letting us in? I said, yeah, go read something to the kids. Tell them a little bit about your thing.
Did you challenge them? Yeah.
No.
Did the girls challenge them?
No.
Wow. That's very nice.
Yeah.
I think that that's a great premise of a joke. If you say, I didn't raise my girls with any certain religion, but of course I didn't hold them back from religion either. And that's my one daughter is a nun and the other daughter is, a cult leader.
Yeah, a whore, yeah.
No. Jennifer, boy, we're going to get to your story in just a second, but you really have done stand-up for decades now.
Yes,
and I have too, but I've taken a huge chunk of time off. But, I'm back to it really pushing full time, and it just doesn't seem like you ever took a break or stopped.
Well, when I work on a TV show, especially when the kids were little, I wouldn't do it as much because I didn't want to be gone all day and then be gone at night,
Sure.
So between working on shows, I would do it. Mm-hmm. I would take them along.
I remember one of my favorite jokes of all time. You'd say, I have 2 children. I love them so much. I take them with me everywhere. They're out in the car right now.
I said, don't feel bad for them. They have 2 air holes and a Game Boy.
And then you said, I'm just kidding. They're in the trunk.
I say, oh, yeah, they're in the trunk. But don't feel bad for them. They got 2 air holes and a Game Boy. And I go, not the toy, just a kid I let them fuck with.
That's a great joke. That's such a great joke. And then the other joke I have, isn't it funny as a comedian what jokes you remember from people? And, and when you hear them say it on stage, you get that little jolt, like as if you're at a concert and you know the words coming to the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that with so many comics. And
I'm
with
sure Jim Gaffigan gets it with like Hot Pockets. People probably screaming
Pockets.
At it.
Yeah, he's screaming and singing Hot Pockets all the way down the road.
Yeah.
And like comedian Sean Polofsky, she has that little bit where she says, stretch it out. Yeah. And she just starts like doing these stretching poses on stage. But like the more she does it, the harder you laugh. You don't even know why you're laughing. You don't know why, because it wasn't even the punchline. It was her. She's a wonderful, she's a great comedian.
Very funny.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I'm anxious to get to your story, but before we do, I wanted to remind everybody that Story Smash, the storytelling game show, is back at the Hollywood Improv every month, the last Saturday of the month. Next one is February 26th with Blanca Batch, and Danny Zucker is on the show. And so come on down to the Hollywood Improv. Tickets are only like $12. How do we keep the tickets so low, Jennifer?
I don't know. Volume.
Anyway, you guys, check it out at storysmashshow.com. And you can also follow Story Smash on Instagram at Story Smash. All right, you guys, she's here right now. You heard her talking, Jennifer Vally. You've actually been on the show, Jennifer. I'm going to say 4 or 5 other times, 6 times. 6 times, which is so great. I always appreciate it. It's just fun sometimes just to talk to like a friend on the show, catch up, and you're always working, so it's great to have you. So you are a stand-up, of course, and a performance artist, and a celebrity interviewer, and a television writer and producer like we talked about. You have truly produced and written hundreds of hours of television for shows on networks like Disney and Game Show Network, Fox, Lifetime, NBC, CBS, really all the networks. And then also the TV Guide Network. Did they still have that?
No, it was bought out by POP, P-O-P.
Yeah.
They were the ones that originally aired Schitt's Creek from Canada.
Oh, yeah.
That's how they got on the map. But TV Guide rolled into POP.
Is that right?
Uh-huh. And then they kind of dissolved that entertainment, but there's still the TV Guide magazine.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And then you also have been featured in the book She's So Funny, a collection of jokes by female comedians. And you received a grant for your original one-act play, Barbie and Beyond, 30 Years of Terror, which is so funny. I think Barbie's 50 now.
Oh, she's almost 60.
Oh.
She's well able to join the AARP. And well, Christine, you have to say, I wrote an article in the Los Angeles Times that was published. I should put that in my credits on LA Affairs.
In there. Oh, I loved your LA Affairs novel. I'm going to put that real quick in my notes. The LA Affairs article in the Los Angeles Times. That was fun. To see your name in print like that was very cool.
Yeah.
For sure. And you also can be seen on Nuvo TV's Stand Up and Deliver and Comedy Time. You guys can find Jennifer Vally over on Instagram at Jen Vally and also on Twitter at Jennifer Vally and then at her website, jennifervally.com. And Valley doesn't have an E. All right, you guys, wherever you are, put your hands together for Jennifer Vally.
Yay, Jennifer Vally's here. Yay. Okay, so I was raised by atheist parents. I don't know if anybody else was that. My parents are immigrants to this country. They are Dutch Indonesian. My mother's from the Netherlands. My father's from Indonesia. And when they immigrated to the U.S., they were pregnant with me. Now, like the Pilgrims came to America from Holland for freedom of religion, my parents came from Holland for freedom from religion. So, totally atheist. I never had any kind of religion in my home. Totally clueless when it came to holidays. Of course, I thought all I thought about Christmas was Santa Claus. Easter was the Easter Bunny. I remember once, I was about 5 or 6 years old. My mom let me go with the neighbor kid to something called Sunday school. And Sunday school is where kids used to go on Sunday, and little kids, and just hang out and draw pictures. So that's what I did. We tore out pictures, and I drew a bunch of pictures of lambs around a shepherd. That was probably Jesus. I don't know. So they didn't talk much about religion. We just drew. We were kids, you know. So I didn't know that, what that was about. And then, you know, when I was about 10, I was like, oh my God, I was finding out from people. There's a reason for the season. There's a reason for the season. Oh my God. You know, so as most of you know, Christmas is about the birth of Christ and Easter is about his death and resurrection. So anyway, my mother and father, they just were not having it. My father was an aerospace engineer. He made something that went up to, the moon, but they were more science-based as opposed to religious-based. So I never had any kind of religious upbringing, nothing.
Well, who was taking you to that Sunday school?
Oh, it was just like, and I only went once or twice. It was just the neighbor kid and his mother, just would drive me over to the church.
But because you needed a babysitter or just something to do?
They just asked if they could take me. Maybe they were trying to get me, into religion, sick with this heathen people with accents, get her into church. So then when I became a teenager, I lived in San Diego, and I loved going to the beach. That was my thing. And in my day, the secret was, or the tip was, you had to be the darkest you could get. You had to be the tannest you could be. And I lived inland from the beach, but there was just one street that went straight to the beach. So my girlfriends and I, literally in our bikinis, with a towel under our arms and our lunch, we would put our thumbs out. And of course, we got a ride immediately. And they would take us straight down the road. We'd go to the beach. Or if we had a car, we would drive to this place called La Jolla Shores. And it's kind of a really fun place to especially learn how to surf because it's kind of a flat beach. And all my friends that were boys were surfer boys. Everybody looked the same. They had, if they had, zinc oxide on their noses, hair long, kind of, scraggly from the salt sea, tan, just cute. And I would go to the beach as much as I could with my girlfriends almost every day. So I got caught once. I skipped school for like almost 2 weeks. It was the week my girlfriend got her, Kim, she got her driver's license and she had a car. So she had an Opel Kadett and I learned how to drive a stick shift. And we drove every day to La Jolla Shores for 2 weeks till we got caught. And then my mom, with the accent, the Trudent officer called. I started laughing. Who's a Trudent officer anyway?
And then what did she say?
I said, I'm sorry. And I got caught. So then I just started going to school. I was a good student. I just, the beach and the cute boys. I don't know, surfer boys, something about them. They just got to me. And even in school, just the confidence to walk around in flip-flops. It was just like, they didn't care what they looked like, and they all had vans and got up early. I thought they were very ambitious and cute. So one day I get to La Jolla Shores and, me and my girlfriend, we put down our towels and we notice off to our left is this group. And I'm not kidding. There must have been 10 to 12 cute surfer boys in a circle, sitting like in a circle, with their surfboards standing up behind them, and a guy in the middle, and they were doing something. And I was like, oh, what's going on over there? And they were actually praying. They were praying, thanking God for the weather and the waves and make sure we have a good surf and, dear Jesus, make sure everybody catches a wave. I don't know. We all cowabunga, we all hang 10. I went, oh, what's going on here? So then they all go off and surf. And when they start coming back in one by one, I asked one of the guys, I'm like, what are you guys doing over there? They said, oh my God, we belong to this church that's not far from here. It's called the Emmanuel Episcopal Church. It's in San Diego. And it's really cool, man. A lot of kids there. They got music and singing. It's really bitchin'. And every Wednesday, it's like a fun thing. So you should come. And my girlfriend and I were like, I said, do you go? And they go, oh, yeah, we all go. It's like, oh, okay. Well, hello. So we went that Wednesday, told my mom, she drove us. She didn't care. Anyway, she drove us to the Emmanuel Church, and it was big, a lot of young people there. They had musicians, a lot of acoustic guitars. drums, you know what I'm talking about. And the preacher was, a cool dude. And they encouraged you to buy a Bible, which I did. It was called The Greatest is Love. And they even had pictures of San Diego in it. I mean, totally modernized. Here it is. And I ended up starting to go to Bible study on Fridays. And the whole Bible was written in like modern verse, right? So they took, I'm trying to see which is a good one here that everybody.
You actually have the book. That's amazing.
Yeah, I kept it. And, I highlighted things and it says, okay, like chapter 7 and Matthew chapter 7, first line, don't criticize and then you won't be criticized. I'm sure that's not what the Bible says, but that's what it says. And I went, oh, okay. All right. And, I thought it was pretty cool. And then there was stuff like, if you give, more comes back to you, right? So I was going on Wednesdays singing cute guys, I was going on Friday for Bible study. I had to get a highlighter, and then when they said, you start doing good, I volunteered on Sundays for this place called Casa Blanca. And in San Diego, that means White House. But anyway, it was a sanitarium. And my girlfriend and I had done it. I'd never been to a sanitarium. This one was for extremely physically disabled and retarded people, kids and people. And they were kind of discarded. Like if they had really bad CP and couldn't talk or, were diapers, people just put them there and forget about them. So us church group would go in there on Sundays, pick someone and hang with them. And oh my God, Christine, the first time I was there, I couldn't stop crying. It smelled and it was just so sad that they were all there. And oh my God. And now when I think about Joe Urell, the comic, maybe their minds were fine, some of these CP people, but their parents wanted to deal with them and just left. It was horrible. But I ended up with this woman named Florence. Thank God she was older. She had no teeth. She couldn't talk, but she had really soft hands and she was potty trained. So I spent about 6 months with her. So I really got into it. My mother kept telling me, why do you keep going to this? Why? Something's going to happen. She kept saying it. She goes, it's going to end up crying. That's what she kept saying to me. Anytime something good happened to me, it's going to end up crying. I'm like, okay. So it was great. I was, doing the Bible study. I was going to the thing. I was volunteering. I felt like a good person. I was doing all that. So then on one of these Wednesdays, it was especially crowded, and the cute preacher said, we have a visiting couple. They're from the San Francisco church. Okay, they're cool, right? And everybody had to give an extra $1 to see them because something about them was cool. So it was a lady with a long hair, and her boyfriend was cool too. He had long hair and he had a guitar. And so he said, these people are great. Give them a listen. Here we go. So they do a couple of songs. Then he starts talking, and all of a sudden, Christine, his eyes roll back in his head, and he starts going, and I start laughing, and I turn around, and no one else is laughing.
Oh.
And so he's doing that, and she was going, God is saying through him, and I went, fucking bullshit. I was so heartbroken because at that moment I realized, oh my God, this is all bullshit. Because I'm sorry if you're a believer, but I think talking in tongues is the biggest. It was so, it broke my heart because it was so, like I'd been taken. And I was doing all this stuff and, and then that. Why would they encourage the place that I like so much? And it did end up crying, as my mother said. So that's it. So,
that's unbelievable. Wait a second. A few things. Why did they want you to go visit the sanitarium?
It was just like that was one of their charities or one of their do good things that the church was doing.
And how often did you go there?
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So you became friends with that lady.
Florence, and she had no teeth, front teeth, and she couldn't talk, but she could hum Christmas carols. Oh,
wow.
Yeah, she would be, and I'd hold her hand and walk her around. And, a lot of the people there was very severely. And we would come on Sundays because usually their parents don't come.
Right. And they don't have anybody. Oh my gosh. I can't believe, because you're not a professional, to walk into that atmosphere.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess they just needed volunteers. And I mean, I understand the compassion part, but I was thinking it sounds like they need more, medical care what do I know? I don't know. It just smelled like, it was just like. That's so sad.
It was so shocking, but then you get used to it,
I don't know. I might have been out there. So what, it seems like in a way, it really took you, so you were 14 or 15 when the epiphany came?
It was 16, 15.
16.
Yeah.
Was your girlfriend with you?
Yeah.
So what happened in that moment?
She didn't I don't think she got into the Casablanca. She didn't do that. Eventually she may have faded away and I just stayed. But she would still come on Wednesdays, I think, or one of the days.
I know, but when you decided that night, did you just leave and never come back, or did you make an explanation?
Yes, that was it.
So you never told anybody why you were leaving?
Mm-mm. Well, I told her. I said,
you did tell, yeah.
Yeah, I said, it's so bullshit.
Yeah. And what did your parents say? Did they say anything like, oh, good, we're glad she's over that
No,
phase?
I didn't even want to say anything because she would have, I told you so.
Yeah, then you could be wrong. Then you could be wrong. You
Yeah.
should have just said, Mother, the tears are here.
Yeah,
It's all happening.
It's true. It ended up crying.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I watched these evangelical televangelists, and it's all so much about the show.
Yeah.
And
of course.
And there's so many they're all mega rich, which is just the opposite of what it says in the Bible.
Right. Did you watch the new Tammy Faye, The Eyes of Tammy Faye?
No, but I got it as a screener I saw, so I
got the screener too. Yeah, it's very good. It's super good. And it's just, they're both alive, those people. Tammy Faye.
Well, Tammy Faye died.
Oh.
She died 20 years ago. She had cancer.
Are you sure? I think you're talking about John Bonet's mother.
No, Tammy Faye Baker has been dead for about 20 years. Let's see when
he just got out of prison. Okay.
He's alive. He's on TV as a televangelist selling food for bomb shelters or whatever.
Oh my gosh. No, that's right. You're absolutely right. The guy, Jim Baker, is alive. He's out of prison, but he was in there 20 years, right?
Oh, he was a big swindler. Let's see. Tammy Faye.
But
she died in 2007. She died. So she's been dead for 15 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So he went on, he has another ministry. I don't know. I don't know what the people are thinking, except that for them, it's a sense of community, and they can kind of put faith in that one thing, and then they can just ignore everything else.
Yeah, I don't get it. And why they keep giving money when half their parishioners are probably very poor or.
Yeah. It's so funny, the rock bands, the Christian rock bands and all the music and stuff. Here's the thing. The songs are great. The music is good.
The songs are good. They are good.
Right.
Believe me, they always had music every week, and you knew the songs, and they were catchy and fun.
And they're exactly the same as any Counting Crows song or any song like that, but they replace the word girl or love for Jesus.
Yeah.
But they really are...
They are love songs.
Catchy.
They're all love
Great
songs,
love songs
about Jesus. Yeah.
They're all love songs. Yeah, there really are some, because I went to a church here in Los Angeles when my daughter was born, because for some reason, again, I always think I'm done learning, and I never stop learning. I mean, here I am with my daughter thinking that I had to get involved in some sort of organized religion just to have that structure for her. But why would I do that? I stayed in it for just a minute. It wasn't long. But even the couple of years I was in it, I was like, am I doing this for the band?
Yeah.
Or am I doing this? You know what I mean? What am I doing? And then, the people that run the church are always the best dressed, and they have the nicest car. And we're all supposed to look at them with reverence.
Yeah.
And it's why?
Yeah.
Yeah, such a crazy thing. And I'm so glad your daughters haven't.
Well, this is what I tell them now. I tell them we observe nothing. We celebrate everything. So we do Christmas, we do Hanukkah, we do a bunch of stuff. So
okay,
we just don't practice anything. And they're certainly welcome to do it if they want to.
Yeah.
But I gave them the opportunity to, do things.
Well, the idea to, I don't mean to demean praying, because some people do it, but I think more than what they're saying is they've got a meditation trained in their head, and this is how they calm down, or, reciting the rosary over and over, 20 Hail Marys, 10 Our Fathers, 15 more Hail Marys, all these prayers. It's just, in a way, it's the same as people doing yoga and down dog, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just repetition, and it's your breath, and it's memorizing. If you go into a lot of churches, it's exact same, like a Catholic Mass is a Catholic Mass, no matter where you are in the world. Same Mass.
Yeah. Talk about a long wedding is a Catholic wedding. I haven't been to too many church weddings lately. Most people are doing them other places and churches these days, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I won't go to a Catholic wedding. I'll go to the reception, but I'm not putting myself through that. I'm really not.
It's ridiculous,
I'll sit in the car.
the length of time.
Yeah.
It's over an hour.
It's over an hour, and they have to repeat the whole Mass. And it's not about the couple, it's just rote.
Yeah.
It's whatever. Anyway, thank goodness we're not in an Arab country. When I went over to the Middle East with Yakov Smirnoff, as you will.
Of course.
I just remember, though, in Turkey and Oman and in Abu Dhabi and all these places in the Middle East, they do have, the call to prayer 5 times a day. And it's going off in the whole city, the singing, or whether it's a tape recorder or whatever it is. I think it's like live people, and it's a privilege.
They know where the East is, that's for sure.
But it's so, if you were growing up in that atmosphere, and that's the way it was 5 times a day, that's just what you would do. Like, do you know what I mean? I mean, it would become your life. You'd be rote.
What I really started when I was done with organized religion was after 9/11. It's like all those people it was an organized religion. It was just, it's led to nothing but destruction. I find a lot of organized religion has led to death and destruction. Not all, but yes, some.
I know.
A lot.
I know. I guess I'd rather hear it instead of called, organized religion. I wish people could just say, I'm going to my meditation retreat this weekend. I'm going to it's just to actually look at one book and say, okay, here are the answers. It just seems so.
I know, not even written by who you think it's written by. It's not written by God or Jesus.
Right. Right. It was over years and years and all that stuff. Well, hasn't this taken a pleasant turn? Our discussion about religion. Hey, how are your cats, Sophie and Hank?
They are doing very well. They're around somewhere, sleeping.
Do they finally sleep together? Because my kitties still do not.
No, not really. I mean, if I'm on the couch, they'll kind of sit by each other, by me. But they're not cuddling up or doing anything like that. And, the old one is completely deaf. My Sophie is completely deaf.
Wow. How old is she?
We're guesstimating 13. When I pulled her from outside, I took her to the vet. They thought by her teeth she was 5 or 6 at the time. So she's been here 7 years. So how do you know she's deaf? She can't hear anything. You could clap and, yell. She's deaf. And if you walk in the door, you vacuum, and she's asleep. She doesn't even flinch. It's great. That's really kind of funny. I don't think I've ever heard of it. Yeah, and a lot of older cats go deaf. And I looked it up, and the vet says, you could bring them in for tests and an audiologist. I'm like, really? Yeah. I'm going to spend thousands of dollars to find out. It's deaf. They said older cats go deaf. Well, that's sometimes. So funny, because I think a lot of people just think that cats are independent, and they're independent and they are ignoring you purposefully, but maybe they actually don't even hear you. Yeah. Well, when you're running the vacuum, the cat's still sleeping. You're like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know I don't have a vacuum, Jennifer Vally.
Well, would you have a hardwood floors that way?
I have all hardwood floors.
Okay.
And then, I had a Roomba, one of those,
Yes.
the things that go, but I wore it out. I mean, I got so into watching that Roomba, picking up dirt and stuff, like smoking weed and watching a Roomba. I know I'm in my 50s, but ladies and gentlemen, that's entertainment. But anyway, I busted it because we used it so much, and I guess because of the cat hair and stuff.
Uh-oh.
But I also got it like refurbished. I didn't get a brand new because they could be like $400 or $500.
Wow. I know you can run it from your phone, right?
Yeah, you can set it up. You can
have it go around.
It's
when you're not
ridiculous.
There.
Yeah, it's so silly. But anyway, so now I'm vacuumless. But I'm a comedian and I'll make it work.
Yeah, get a broom.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay,
I got that.
okay.
Exactly. Well, listen, I'm so happy to talk to you again and to catch up. And I think this is a really funny story. I'm blown away. I haven't heard it before.
Yeah, it's a newbie.
Yeah. Hey, before we go, did I tell you when I, for sure, like that moment of clarity came to me when I was sitting in Catholic church with my family? There's all 6 kids and my parents, and it was Father Charnoki during the sermon. He was up there ranting about how ABC had that program on with the homosexual and how we should all write to ABC and protest the show Soap. And I remember looking down the pew to my father, past all my brothers and sisters, and seeing my father and looking at him like, you love that show. We never miss that show. And that was my connection to, wait a second.
Yeah, you don't like it?
We love that
it.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny when it occurs to you, epiphanies in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys, we got to get out of here, but I wanted to remind you that Story Smash is back at the Hollywood Improv. Check out StorySmashShow.com for more information and follow Story Smash on Insta at Story Smash. And of course, you should follow Jennifer Vally over there too at Jen Vally without an E. And I think you would be humored by Jen Vally's antics. How about that? And for more information, find her over at JenniferVally.com. All right, you guys, one more time on behalf of the very talented comedian Jennifer Vally, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Christine.
My name is Christine Blackburn saying, make it a story-worthy week.
You can follow me. I'll take you down to the river. Follow me. I'll keep you silent.
Thanks for joining us on the Storyworthy Podcast. We'll be back next week with all new stories. Subscribe to Storyworthy on iTunes and visit the Storyworthy website at storyworthypodcast.com.
I'll keep you satisfied.
Your favorite band's about to play a sold-out show. You got in.
Over here!
With a friend. And found a spot close enough to see the set list. They're definitely playing your song. When you're with Amex, it's not if it's going to happen, but when. American Express. Don't live life without it.
Dad's Mr. Popular at the JCPenney Father's Day sale. From teas and tech to fragrance and fitness, find cool gifts for every kind of dad. Surprise him with an iTouch Active smartwatch, now $29.99. Score major savings with doorbusters like St. John's Bay Polos, just $7.99, and shorts, $16.99. Plus, shop extended store hours Friday and Saturday. Shopping is back. JCPenney. Offers valid on select styles through 6/19. Some exclusions apply. Doorbusters and smartwatch excluded from coupons. See store or jcp.com for details.